Hi friends, thanks for the support you have given me and the encouragement which you have shown towards me to start this channel. As this is the first video, I would like to give out my introduction. As of now, I have 7 years experience in the manufacturing sectors, varying from iron foundry where I began my career, then moved on to automobile industry, wherein I was working on plastic parts, the meter cluster assembly, digital meters, analog meters, then moved on to the wheel manufacturing, and now in steel foundry. This 7 years of experience, my area of expertise are time study, the motion study, the layout planning, work table design to suit the ergonomics, logistic plan, lean manufacturing, which I plan to explain throughout this course, my area of expertise. What I've seen through these years is that many fresh graduates, they move on to design field or to the quality field, as industrial engineering or process engineering related to these areas which I have my expertise are, the reach is very much limited to these graduates. So that one thing I want to break it so that more people are interested to join as an industrial engineer. So in my videos, I'll be considering the term IE for industrial engineering and PE for process engineering. Basically, IE and PE are the same, but for designated process which are specialized process like heat treatment, painting process, there the process engineer job is to look after the parameters, that is the process parameters. He is not involved in these kind of activities. So let's begin the course, where every week I'll be trying to upload different topics which will be beneficial to you and will include how to improve the productivity and the efficiency of the plant. So what are the topics we'll be discussing today? As this is the first video, I will like to discuss on what is the role of an industrial or a process engineer and what are the requirements to become a successful industrial or process engineer. So before going to further, let's see the definition of an industrial engineer. So according to the Institute of Industrial Engineers, industrial engineers work to eliminate waste of time, the money involved, the materials, the energies, and all other commodities that are involved in the process to make the final product. So industrial engineers are concerned with reducing the production cost, increasing the efficiency of the machine as well as the operator, improving the quality of the products and services by developing POKAYOKs, ensuring the workers' health and safety by developing ergonomically suitable workstations. So these are the roles of an industrial engineer in any of the plant. The one thing which I forgot to mention is industrial engineer is applicable to any kind of field, be it pharma, be it food and beverage industries, be it manufacturing sectors, automobile, electrical sectors. So the reach of industrial engineer is vast. That is one thing which I wanted to make it clear. So we have seen the definition of an industrial engineer and the role of an industrial engineer in the plant. Next comes the requirement of an industrial engineer. How can you be a successful engineer? What are the things you require to become a very good industrial or a process engineer? The first, what are the kind of skill set that you must have or develop? What is the work style? And last, what are the knowledge you require? So let's begin with the kind of skill set that is required. First is active listening. You have to give full attention to what other people are saying. One is to take time to understand the points being made, and he has to ask appropriate question as why the change needs to be done, what is the objective of this project, what is the allotted budget of the project, because without knowing the budget you can't do any study or any improvement activity. Get this point clear. And what is the ROI plan? ROI is return of investment. During the meeting or during any discussion, don't interrupt the speaker. Always wait for him to finish and then ask your questions. This is a very important point. Next comes writing. Industrial engineer is the common point between the design R&D development department and the shop floor people. So you must have a very good communication skill, and always make a written communication which will become a record for future purpose and comes in aid for any ambiguity, especially when you are dealing with the suppliers or with the customers. Internal communication can be done by conducting meeting and recording the points using a MOM minutes of meeting. Communication should be done using normal language without any confusing term. For example, as per the time study which you have done, the output has come out to 30 parts per hour. So while you are communicating, ensure that you have communicated properly. If you have just mentioned 30 parts, that's it. Then the receiver will have doubts whether it is 30 parts per hour or 30 parts per day, 30 parts per shift. This will lead to a lot of confusion. So ensure while you're communicating there's no ambiguity and mention all the units what you have considered. Next comes critical thinking. For any problem, the industrial engineer must be able to come up with different solutions using logic and reasoning to identify the strength and weakness of alternative solution. This point will be explained in the future videos wherein we will come out with different ideas and see how to choose the best one. Speaking. IE has to be strong in talking effectively with others, especially production supervisors, when you want to conduct any study. Any miscommunication can lead to hindrance, leading to delay in your study. Always make a practice of speaking to line in charge a day prior when you want to conduct your study, and also inform what kind of study you are going to do, as the shop floor people are the ones who have to accept what you have concluded and implemented in the shop floor. So take those people in confidence and have good, healthy professional relationship with them. This is a very important skill which is not as easy as it sounds. Monitoring doesn't mean just stand, observe. No, you need to record all the shortcomings of your implementation if there is any. Take down all the points which have been mentioned by the operator as a hindrance to the process. Take down all the points which the supervisor says, compile it, have a brainstorming with all of those members, then conclude. If everyone agrees, then your project has become a successful one. Try to convince them that these shortcomings are only short term. If the member gets experienced on this working style, he will get accustomed to it within a week or so. Try to convince them and try to stop those negative points then and there itself. Don't prolong it. So I would say monitoring skill is the one which an IE must have in order for the project to be successful. Next comes is the judgment and decision making skill set. If you are a fresher, this skill will gradually grow as you get more and more experience. So once the experience in the field increases, you need to judge different solutions based on the cost and the ROI, and then approach the management for approval. It is you, an industrial engineer or a process engineer, will have the authority to decide what all changes are required to meet the objective. Next skill is the coordination skill. Advantage of being an IE or PE early in your career is that you will develop managerial skills. As said earlier, you will be the communicating point between the design or the R&D team which is there in your plant and the shop floor team. You need to coordinate with both the departments while ensuring that the process is running efficiently. Next, active learning. This is one field wherein you need to continuously learn the different techniques or the methodologies that are being adopted in different sectors of manufacturing. You can't be laid back saying, I know this skill as of now and I will continue my career with the skill which I have gained. No, this is a field which keeps continuously evolving and you must be accustomed to different skills as the time progresses, else neither you will grow nor the organization will grow. This is the one point which I came across when I joined in foundry, because steel foundries, iron foundries, they are all laid back using old techniques. Automobile is an industry which is fast and which requires fast and efficient ways of production. So what I would suggest is, if you are in an industry which is other than automobile, try to understand what techniques they are using in automobile industry, benchmark them and then implement in your sector. So next skill is the mathematics skill. You don't need to be very good in maths as in the areas of calculus or integration or differentiation. Nothing of that sort is going to help you in this line. Simple addition, division, multiplication, percentage calculation are the basis. Your entire career will run on this only. So the reason why you should be fast in mathematics is you are the one who are going to define the efficiency. You are the one who are going to say that I will achieve this within this cycle time. So when the top management asks you suddenly saying, if you increase my manpower or if I decrease the manpower and if I put automation, what will be the efficiency? You must be able to calculate in your mind and tell them on the spot, else it will become a point wherein you will be a bit embarrassed. Next is the time management skill. Being an IE, you must be an example for others who are working in the organization on the time management. You have to plan all our activities such that they're completed within the working hours and not beyond that. Next point is socializing, not the one which you do in Facebook or anything. You need to have a good rapport face to face with all the members working in the organization. For your project to be successful and for you to be successful, it is not an individual man's job. It requires team effort. Entire shop floor has to support you in your change plans. If anyone is not agreeing with you, convince them. There is no way that you are going to achieve it by, what do you say, by siding him or by overtaking him or by complaining him to the management. It's not possible. So take everyone as a team and so that and mingle with everyone in a positive way. Don't use any harsh words if they are giving you any feedback which are negative or criticizing you. Be calm and carry the project with the teamwork as their motto. Next comes instructing. So you must be able to communicate the change that you have brought to different levels on the organization. You can't just make the top management happy by giving a high funder presentation. You need to ensure that the low level line, which who are the operators, they understand what you have done and so that they can do it throughout their shift or throughout their day in order to achieve the targets. So whatever instruction that you're going to give them should be in a language that is understood by the low level operators. Don't just make your top management happy. That bubble will be there only for 1 or 2 weeks. If the production is not met, there will be problems which you will face down the line. The last point is the management of personal and material resources. So industrial engineers should have skill of motivating the people to do the work efficiently in order to get maximum efficiency and also from the resources deployed. Remember the OEE, overall efficiency, should be above 85% for an industry to run properly in order to achieve its target. So these were the kind of skill set that is required to become an industrial engineer. So now let's see what is the work style that is required. How should you plan and what are the how you should carry yourself in the plant. The first thing is the attention to detail. When you are being given a new assignment, it is required you must get into the tiniest of details possible. So let me explain what is it. If the task is to determine the cycle time of a process, you can't complete it in a day or two. You just can't go there, do some activity and get the cycle time. No. It requires you to study the various factors that affects the production. That is availability of material, what is the skill level of the man that has been deployed, the layout, and other factors which we'll be discussing in the further lessons. Uh, what usually happens in a plant is when a fresher or when a new guy joins the plant and it is given an assignment to calculate the cycle time. He goes in the morning at around 9 o'clock, 9:30 to the line. He observes the process, and by the end of the day or by next morning, he submits a report stating, say for one process, it has come to 30 parts per hour. The management, your boss is happy, saying, wow, he has completed the task within a day. So let's cross verify it. So when he comes to the line and when he observes, it doesn't match your output. It is coming 35 parts per hour. On further digging, we come to know that yesterday the man who was deployed to do the work was relatively a new manpower. He is still in the process of learning it, and today the man who was deployed is a skilled one. So you need to consider all these parameters and then conclude in your report. The next is dependability. The report of IE is very, very important to the organization and it determines the capacity of the organization. If the report states we can produce maximum 1500 parts per day and the customer requirement is 2000 parts per day, the management based on your report will double the resources, procure the machines and deploy more manpower. But if the management starts digging it or they deploy one more person to just cross verify your result and it comes that you have made a mistake, then the trust of the organization over you decreases. So always double check before submitting any of your reports. Third, integrity. Never hide your mistake if you have made, as it lead to problems down the line. This you will learn as you get more and more experience. Just to please your immediate boss, don't cover up the calculation. Be bold in your report, be ethical, and be truthful. So next is the initiative. Industrial engineer must be ready for any challenge that they put across you. You must be ready to accept it and develop your own thinking with. One thing which I learned during my experience was to develop a 2x line. That is a set line which has been running for the past 1 year is doing 500 parts per shift. They wanted to increase it to 1000 parts per shift. That too with no or less investment. The same resources, the same setup, but how do you increase it? So an industrial engineer must come up with exceptional or out of the box thinking to achieve these kind of results. So we will discuss this 2x concept and how we can apply these concepts in your plan so that you are able to achieve at least 50% improvement. Next is the analytical thinking. Job requires analyzing information and using logic to address work-related issues and problems. Never ever give loose values or loose suggestions without verifying them. Cooperation. Job requires being present with others and displaying a good nature, cooperative attitude. Always remember, teamwork is the only way to achieve the goal. Persistence. While planning for any change, obstacles will come. All the people are not ready for change. Negative thinking people will be there, but you must never back down from it. If you believe in your vision, be persistent with it, and you will definitely achieve it. Self-control. Job requires maintaining composure and keep your emotions in check. Always control your anger and avoid aggressive behavior even in difficult situations. Never shout in the workplace. Be calm. Initially it will be difficult, but this style of working you must adopt in order to achieve your goals as well as grow in your career. Stress tolerance, especially when new project is being undertaken by industry, you will be under lot of stress. You need to be calm, composed, and manage the resources and the time allotted to you. One more thing, being an industrial engineer, you will be under a lot of criticisms and you must develop a way of dealing with them calmly. Just 2 days back, I made a presentation for my company wherein I developed some concepts. Some people were very happy about it, but 2 3 people who are more experienced in their line, they start pointing out some technical stuff about it, which even you would have not thought, nor would the senior or the top management would have thought of. So we need to deal with those people calmly without raising any anger or giving back reply on their face in front of everyone. Just say okay to them in the meeting and then you come up with a ways to convince them. The last point is concern for others. While doing your time study, don't keep a narrow mind saying that my management has said to reduce the manpower, I will do it at any cost. Keep an open mind, understand the grievance of the operator. For example, if the cycle time of operation is under a second and the man is engaged for only for 50 seconds, during the engagement time of 50 seconds, he has to lift the part and keep it in a trolley. The weight of the part is 10 to 12 kg. So in this situation, how will you reduce the manpower? Just think about it. The common response for any new fresher or any new people in the industry is that they will combine two machines and make two machines one operator, and they will show it to the management that I have reduced one manpower. But this is not logical because we have to consider the fatigue factor which the operator is undergoing. 10 to 12 kgs lifting it, moving and keeping it in a trolley throughout the day doing this will lead to breakdown. If you don't give him that relaxation period, you won't get the productivity. So always consider these factors before compiling and concluding your report. So these are the work styles which you must follow in your organization. This will be the last point which I'll be discussing today. That is the kind of knowledge that is required. This will help you to accumulate more knowledge in certain areas which will help you to grow in this field. The first will be the engineering and technology. So you should be having some knowledge of the practical application of the engineering science and technology related to your field. For example, you must have some basic engineering knowledge in order to implement some automation, or if you want to optimize some of the processes, you must be having some base on mechanical engineering. Next is the production and processing. Whatever kind of field you might be in, you must have some knowledge of the raw materials, the production processes, what is the quality control, what are the costs involved in various steps, and what are the other techniques that are required for maximizing the effective manufacture of goods. This point you will inculcate once you start working in that line for 1 or 2 years. You will get the idea about this production and processing. Next is mathematical knowledge you must have, which I have already explained. Simple arithmetic, stats that is required. Next is the mechanical knowledge. So you must have a knowledge of machines and tools, including their designs, their uses, the repair, maintenance part. This comes in handy when you develop your own setup as improvement and you can carry out troubleshooting yourself without waiting for any other aid. Now let's see the next knowledge which you must be having, that is the design knowledge. You must have or develop designing skill in order to understand the drawing of the part. 3D designing software, either CATIA, Solid Edge, Pro E, SolidWorks, whatever you are interested in, you must have it, which will be an added advantage wherein you can draw and share your concepts, your vision of how the work table should be to the suppliers, as well as it will be easy for you to explain it to the top management. Visualization of a concept is much more appreciated rather than just saying theoretically that I want or I will be doing like this. One more software, that is the AutoCAD software, is very much important for you in order to carry out layout modifications. The last point is the administration and management point. So knowledge of business and management principles involved in strategic planning, resource allocation, human resources, leadership technique, production methods, and coordination of people and resources. These having knowledge in these areas will definitely guide you and help you to get your work done smoothly and easily. So guys, that is the end of today's session. The main aim behind this session was to help people understand the roles and responsibility of being an industrial engineer and what are the skills, the knowledge, how to work in industry if you are being designated as an industrial engineer. This is more of a theoretical class, but from next session I am planning to explain you different kinds of time study. That is, what is, how do you calculate a cycle time? What is the takt time? What is the importance of it? How, what is throughput cycle time? So different type of times that are followed in an industry that I am trying to explain in the next section. So hope you guys like this video. If you do so, please subscribe to this channel and share it to as many people you know who will be benefited by this lecture. And do like the video, and whatever may be your queries, please post it in the comment section, or you can mail it to me. My mail ID will be in the description below. Thank you guys.